Every night, Jason Cerullo walked the perimeter of his house in San Diego. It wasn't a choice. It was the ranger in him. He checked the deadbolt on the front door, the slide lock on the patio, and the window above the sink where the latch liked to stick. I'm Zeke. I've been reading accounts for near-death experiences for a long time, but Jason stood out because that routine is gone now. He doesn't check the locks anymore. He doesn't even sleep in the dark. I was looking back at a message from a viewer a few months ago who asked why so many of these accounts start with something mundane, and I think it's because the mind needs a baseline before the floor drops out. For Jason, the floor didn't just drop, it vanished while he was looking right at his own children. He's 31, he's trained for high-stress extraction. But when he sent this in, his handwriting, or his typing really, felt like someone trying to shout through a closed window. Let's go to 11 days ago. It's scratching, that's the first thing I hear. Not a hum, not a song, just claws on galvanized steel. I'm looking at a ventilation duct, the kind you see in industrial basements, and my head is spinning because I know I shouldn't be here. I'm an Army Ranger, I know how to read a room, I know how to check for exits, but there aren't any, just these white walls that look like they were dipped in wax. The air in here, it's pressurized. I can feel it in my eardrums. It's that heavy, sterile weight you get in a level 4 biolab. I've been in nasty places, but this is different. This is clean. Too clean. And then the scratching gets louder. I look down at my hands and they're shaking. I can't make them stop. I try to form a fist, a proper combat grip, but my fingers just twitch like they belong to someone else. I need to move. My brain is screaming at me to find cover, to get my back against a wall, but the floor is too smooth. I'm sliding. There's a cage in the center of the room. It's not big, maybe 3 feet across, and inside it's a mess of gray fur and red eyes. They aren't normal. I've seen rats in the field, I've seen them in the dirt, but these things have been edited. Their spines are too long, their movements are jerky, like they're being shocked. One of them looks at me. It presses its nose against the mesh and I see the fluid leaking from its snout. It's thick. It's the color of old rust. I know right then that if that fluid touches the air outside this room, the map goes red. I can see the grid in my head. I can see San Diego, the 5 freeway, the airport. It's a tactical nightmare. I reach for my belt. I'm looking for my sidearm, a knife, anything. But I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm wearing the shirt my wife bought me for Father's Day. The one with the little grease stain on the hem from when I fixed the kids' bikes. And then the room starts to tilt. The white walls are turning blue. I'm falling backward. I'm falling away from the lab, but the sound of the claws, that high-pitched rasp, it follows me. It stays in my ears. I need to tell you about the phone. I'm sitting with that detail about the Father's Day shirt. Jason is describing a biocontainment breach, something straight out of a high-level briefing, but he's anchored to a grease stain from a bicycle chain. It's that friction between the domestic and the catastrophic that I find so hard to look away from. Jason is a ranger. His first instinct is to find a weapon, but he's realizing he's completely unarmed for what he's seeing. I'm back, or I'm before, I don't know. My timeline is a wreck. I'm in my kitchen. The light is coming through the blinds in these sharp yellow bars. I'm holding my phone. I'm on a video call because I'm supposed to be at training in 2 hours, and I wanted to see the kids before they went to their nanang's house for the afternoon. My son is laughing. He's 4. He's doing that thing where he tries to show me his Lego set, but he keeps putting the camera too close to the bricks, so all I see is a blur of blue and red. My daughter is behind him, waving her hand. I wave back. And that's when it happens. It's not a pain, not at first. It's a skip. It's a skip. Like a record jumping a groove. My heart it stops. Then it thuds once, hard, like a boot hitting a hollow door. My vision goes gray at the edges. I try to say something. I try to tell my wife to grab the phone, but my tongue is a piece of lead. It's too heavy. I can't move it. I see her face change on the screen. She's 3 inches tall, trapped in that little glass rectangle, and she's screaming my name, but her voice is underwater. It's slow. Ja, son, Ja, son. I'm sliding down the cabinets. I can feel the handles catching on my shirt. My knees hit the tile. It's cold. Why is it so cold? We live in San Diego. It's 80 degrees out. The phone hits the floor. The screen is facing up, and I can see the ceiling fan spinning above me. Round and round. It looks like a propeller. I'm thinking I need to get to the extraction point. I need to get the kids clear. But I can't breathe. The air is gone. It's like someone put a plastic bag over my head and taped it shut. My lungs are burning. They're searching for oxygen and finding nothing but dust. I close my eyes. I don't want to see the ceiling fan anymore. And then the white comes back. Not the lab white. This is different. It's like being inside a strobe light that never turns off. It's bright. It's so bright it hurts my teeth. I can feel the light vibrating in my jaw. I'm standing up. I'm not on the kitchen floor. I'm not in the lab. I'm standing on something that feels like glass, but it's warm. It's moving under my feet like a slow tide. I look up, and the scale of it breaks my brain. I've seen mountain ranges from the air. I've seen the ocean at night. But this is a geometry I wasn't built to understand. There are thousands of them, maybe millions. They're kneeling, all of them. In every direction, as far as I can see, there are these figures. They aren't singing, they aren't making a sound. But the pressure of their silence, it's like standing next to a jet engine. I try to look at what they're facing. There's a structure, a center point. It's rising up out of the white like a pillar of fire, but the fire is solid. It's architectural. I take a step. My legs feel like they're made of light. I don't have my boots. I'm barefoot. I can feel the warmth of the glass between my toes. I need to find the commanding officer. That's my only thought. I'm in a foreign AO, I'm unmasked, and I need to report in. But as I get closer, the light starts to change. It's not just white anymore. It's blue. It's the same blue as the phone screen. And I hear a voice. It doesn't come from the fire, it comes from inside my own chest. Jason. My name, but it's not just a name. It's my whole life. It's every mistake I ever made. It's every time I lied. It's every time I chose my job over my family. I drop to my knees. I can't help it. My skeleton just gives up. I'm waiting for the judgment. I'm waiting for the hammer to fall. But then I feel a hand on my shoulder. It's not a ghost. It's heavy. It's solid. It's a hand that knows how to work. I look up and I'm looking into his eyes. I've seen a lot of faces. I've seen men who wanted to kill me. I've seen men who were terrified. But I've never seen this. He's wearing a robe, but it's not like the paintings. It's coarse. It looks like wool. It looks like something a person would actually wear if they had to walk a long way. He doesn't look like he's from a church. He looks like he's from the earth. He looks at me and he doesn't say anything at first. He just holds my shoulder. And I realize I'm crying. I'm 31 years old, I'm a ranger, and I'm sobbing like a kid who got lost in the mall. I can feel the tears running down my neck. They're hot. They're the only thing that feels real in this place. He leans down. He gets close to my ear. The perimeter is failing, Jason. I don't understand. I'm looking at the millions of kneeling figures. They look like a solid wall to me. They look like the ultimate defense. Look at the gaps, he says. I turn my head. I see them now. Between the kneeling figures, there are these holes, these dark spots in the light. And inside the holes, I see the scratching, I see the red eyes, I see the lab. He's showing me the clock now. It's hovering in the air between us. It's not a digital display. It's an old-fashioned face, but there are no hands. There are no numbers, except for the 3. The 3 is glowing. It's pulsing. 3 days, he says. I try to ask him 3 days until what? 3 days since when? But he just squeezes my shoulder. 3 o'clock is the watch, Jason. You're a sentry. Act like it. The white starts to flare. It's getting hotter. It's burning my skin. I'm falling again. I'm falling back into the blue. I'm falling back toward the kitchen floor, toward the smell of the grease on my shirt, toward the sound of my wife's voice on the phone. But I can still see the holes. I can still see the red eyes, and the scratching. It hasn't stopped. It's getting louder. The fall stops. I'm not in the kitchen anymore. I'm back in that place with the warm glass under my feet. The transition, it's like a jump cut in a movie. 1 second, I'm gasping for air on my floor, and the next, I'm standing in front of him again. He hasn't moved. His hand is still on my shoulder. It feels heavy, like a rucksack strap, steady, pinning me to the spot so I don't drift away. I look at his face. I try to find a flaw. I'm a ranger. I'm trained to look for the thing that's out of place. That's the detail that tells you the situation is a trap. But there's nothing. His skin, it looks like it's made of the same light as everything else, but it's warm. It's breathing. Look at the perimeter, Jason. His voice, it's not a sound. It's a vibration in my jawbone. I turn my head, and I really look this time. I'm not just seeing a crowd. I'm seeing a formation. The kneeling figures, the angels, they aren't just sitting there. They're positioned in concentric circles around the fire, stretching out into the white until they're just tiny pinpricks of light. It's the biggest staging area I've ever seen. If you put every army on Earth into one valley, it wouldn't be a fraction of this. They're all facing inward, but their backs are the wall. They're holding something. I can see the tension in their shoulders. They're straining. They are the watch, he says. I look at the guy closest to me. He's huge. If he stood up, he'd be 8 feet tall. He's wearing armor that looks like brushed chrome, but it's scarred. There are dents in it, scratches. This guy has been in a scrap. He's been on the line for a long time. Then I see the gap right next to him. It's about 10 feet wide. A clean break in the circle. The white glass floor underneath the gap is gray. It looks like ash. And that's where the scratching is coming from. The lab, it's visible through the hole. I can see the stainless steel tables. I can see the rats with the red eyes. They're trying to climb out. They're pushing against the edges of the gap, their claws hooked into the ash, trying to pull themselves into this light. The angel next to the gap is leaning over, trying to close it with his own weight, but he can't. He's only one guy. He needs someone on the other side to pull the line tight. The breach is where the prayer stopped. Jason, I feel a cold sweat on the back of my neck. I'm thinking about my house. I'm thinking about my neighborhood in San Diego. I don't know how to fix that, I say. My voice sounds thin. It sounds like a toy. I'm just a sentry. I follow orders. He moves his hand from my shoulder to the side of my face. His thumb is rough. He has calluses. The orders haven't changed, he says. You watch the 3rd hour. I've been thinking about that description of the angel's armor, how it's scarred and dented. Jason is an Army Ranger, 31, used to seeing equipment that's been through the meat grinder, and he's projecting that onto the divine. He's not seeing a polished statue, he's seeing a soldier who's been on the line for 1,000 years. It makes the breach he's describing feel less like a metaphor and more like a tactical failure. I notice that when Jason talks about the ash in the gap, he sounds like he's looking at a burn map. I can't stop looking at the lab. The rats, they're multiplying. In the vision, time is moving fast. I see the rats being put into crates. I see the crates being loaded into white vans. No markings, no logos. Just clean white vans driving out of a garage into a city that looks like Los Angeles, then another that looks like New York. I see them being released. It's not an explosion. It's not a gunfight. It's just a guy in a windbreaker opening a door in an alleyway at 3 a.m. He lets a dozen of them go, and they vanish into the shadows. They head for the vents. They head for the sewers. Within an hour, they're in the pipes. I see a woman in an apartment. She's sleeping. She's got a glass of water on her nightstand. One of those rats, it's in the wall behind her head. I can see through the drywall, and it's scratching at the copper pipes, leaking that rust-colored fluid into the seal. The fluid gets into the water. She wakes up. She takes a sip of the water. I want to yell. I want to reach through the gap and knock the glass out of her hand, but I'm stuck in the light. I'm just a witness. I watch her lie back down. 5 minutes later, her breathing changes. It gets shallow, rapid. Her skin starts to turn that waxy white color like the lab walls. This is the release, he says. I look back at him. My heart is hammering against my ribs so hard it hurts. When? I ask. Is this now? Did I miss it? He doesn't answer. He just points at the clock again. The 3 is still glowing, but now there's a shadow moving across the face of the clock. It's moving clockwise. It's almost at the 12. When the shadow touches the top, the 3 days begin, he says. I try to calculate. I'm a ranger. I'm good with maps. I'm good with timing. But there are no numbers on this thing, just the 3. You have 3 days to call the watch, he says. 3 days to fill the gaps. Suddenly, the kneeling figures start to shift. They aren't just bowing anymore. They're starting to hum. It's a low frequency. It's so deep I can feel it in my marrow. It's the sound of a power grid hum, but amplified 1,000,000 times. I see the map of America again. It's dark. But then I see these little sparks. One in San Diego, one in a suburb of Chicago, a cluster of them in the south. They're homes. I zoom in. My vision just snaps to a house in a regular neighborhood. I see a man on his knees in his living room. It's 3 a.m. His TV is off. His family is asleep. He's talking. He's calling out. And around his house, there's a shield. It's not a dome. It's a pillar of that same white fire from the center of the throne room. It's shooting up into the sky. It's like a beacon. The rats, they get close to the house and they stop. They can't cross the line. The rust fluid they're carrying, it dries up. It turns to dust. They scurry away, looking for a softer target. I see another house, a woman. She's sitting at her kitchen table with a Bible. 3:15 a.m., same thing. The fire is there, the perimeter is holding, but then I see the rest of the street, dark. The rats are everywhere. They're under the porches. They're in the crawl spaces. The intercessors are the pylons, he says. Without the pylons, the grid fails. He turns me around. He's looking me right in the eye now. His eyes are like deep water. There's no bottom to them. Go back, Jason. Tell them to wake up. They won't believe me, I say. I'm shaking my head. I'm a 31-year-old grunt. They'll think I had a stroke. They'll think I'm crazy. He doesn't smile. He just looks at me with this weight, this gravity. You have the mark, he says. He touches my chest, right where my heart is. It burns. It's not a stinging burn. It's a heat that goes all the way through to my spine. I can feel my heart kickstart. It's beating with a rhythm I don't recognize. 3 days, he repeats. The white light starts to pull away. The millions of angels, the fire, the warm glass, it's all receding, like I'm on the back of a fast-moving train. I'm falling toward the blue again. But this time, I can hear the heart monitor. Beep, beep, beep. It's slow, too slow. I can hear a voice, a man's voice. He sounds tired. Clear. The heat in my chest, the one from his finger, it meets the heat from the paddles. My body arching. The ceiling fan. The smell of burning hair. I'm back. But I can still feel the rust in the air. I can still hear the scratching in the walls. And I know the clock is already moving. I'm on the gurney. I can feel the wheels rattling through my spine as they sprint down the hallway. The lights on the ceiling, those long fluorescent tubes, they're passing over me like tracer fire. 1, 2, 3. But I'm still seeing the throne. It's like a double exposure. I see the nurse's face, her eyes wide and dark, and right through her, I see the rows of kneeling figures. The two worlds are overlapping. The hospital smells like bleach and latex, but underneath that, I'm still breathing the ozone from the fire. My heart is doing this weird stutter. It's not a medical rhythm. It's the pulse of that clock. Thump, thump, pause, thump, thump, pause. He's still there. He's standing at the foot of my bed, but he's not walking on the hospital floor. He's standing on the air. He looks at me, and he doesn't use words, but the information just slams into my head. It's like a high-speed file transfer. He shows me the frequency. It's the number 3, but it's not just a shape. It's a vibration. I can feel it in my back molar. It's a low-end hum that makes my whole skull rattle. He tells me that this is the frequency of the watch. He shows me why. At that hour, the noise of the world is at its lowest. The signals, the garbage we fill our heads with all day, it drops off. It's the window where the veil is the thinnest. It's the time when the rust moves fastest because the resistance is down. Then the ceiling of the ER it dissolves. I'm looking at a map of the United States. It's not a flat map. It's a heat map. I can see the grid. I see the massive density of people in the cities. He points to San Diego, then Los Angeles, then New York. The release points, he says. I see the white vans again. They're moving through the streets of San Diego, right past the gas lamp district, right past the parks where the kids play. They're stopping at the drainage mains. Inside the vans, there are men in suits. Not military, not even government. They look like accountants. They look like guys you'd see at a Starbucks. But their eyes, they're empty. There's nothing behind them. Behind them, they're handling these glass vials. Inside the vials is a concentrated version of the rust fluid from the rats. They call it QPB. I see that name in my head, QPB. I don't know if it's a chemical formula or a project code, but the moment I see it, my lungs seize up. It's like my body knows that this stuff is the end of the line. How do we stop the vans? I try to shout it, but I'm intubated. I can feel the plastic tube in my throat. I'm gagging on it. He shakes his head. You don't stop the vans, Jason. You strengthen the pylons. He zooms the map out. I see the whole country again. It's 3 on the East Coast. I see these pillars of fire starting to pop up. They're tiny, like birthday candles on a map of the world. But everywhere a pillar of fire stands, there's a dead zone for the QPB. I see a woman in a small house in rural Georgia. She's on her knees. She's not even saying anything. She's holding the line. And I see the rust fluid, this invisible gray fog rolling down her street. It hits the edge of her property and it just evaporates. It can't cross the frequency of her prayer. But then I see a high rise in Manhattan, thousands of people. Everyone is asleep. No one is on watch. The gray fog moves in through the air conditioning vents. It moves through the water pipes. I see them waking up at 6 a.m. They feel a little tickle in their throat. They think it's the dry air. They go to work. They take the subway. By noon, the subway is a red zone. I'm Zeke. I've been reading these accounts for this channel for years, and I've started to notice something in the comments that I can't explain away. People from all over, different time zones, different backgrounds. They keep mentioning this 3 a.m. wake-up call. They say they feel a nudge, a pressure, like someone is standing in the room. I read an account a few months ago, I think the handle was Scout76, who said they felt a vibration in their jaw at exactly 0303. Now Jason is describing that same frequency, that same dental rattle. I want to ask you something, and I'm being serious. Have you been waking up at 3? Not just once, but a pattern? If that's been happening to you, I want you to share that with Zeke in the comments. I read every one. I'm trying to see if these pylons Jason is describing are already being lit up. The vibration in my molar is getting louder. It's almost a scream now. 3 days, Jason. He's showing me a news broadcast. It hasn't happened yet. I can see the ticker at the bottom of the screen. I see the anchor's face. She's pale. She's trying to keep her voice steady. Unexplained outbreak in major population centers. He tells me that the moment that broadcast hits the air, the moment the world realizes that something is wrong, that is when the countdown starts. 3 days. That's the window for the intercessors to flood the frequency. That's the time we have to call out for the overflow. I see the bow again. It's a massive curved vessel like a rainbow made of liquid. It's hovering over the map, and it's full. The water is right at the brim. It's surface tension. One more drop and it's gonna pour. The mercy is ready, he says, but it has to be asked for. It has to be drawn down. He shows me what happens if we don't. I see the cities go dark. I see the hospitals with the full signs taped to the glass doors. I see the white vans moving through the silence. It's a tactical wipe. I'm not enough, I say. I'm crying now. I can feel the salt of the tears under the tape on my face. I'm just one guy. I'm a ranger. I'm supposed to be part of a unit. Where's my unit? He leans over me. His face fills my whole vision. He looks like the sun, but I can look right at him. Your unit is anyone who can hear the frequency, Jason. Find them. He touches the mark on my chest again. The heat is so intense, I think I'm going to catch fire. And then the hospital room snaps back into focus. The doctor is standing over me. He's got his mask pulled down. He's sweating. We got him back, he says. He sounds like he doesn't believe it. He was flat for 4 minutes. His heart just started, like someone flipped a switch. The nurses are moving around, checking the bags, adjusting the monitors. I try to speak. I try to say 3 days. I try to say QPB, but all that comes out is a wheeze. I look at the clock on the hospital wall. It's 3:15 a.m. The second hand is ticking. Click, click, click. It sounds like a hammer hitting a nail. I'm back in the world, but I can still feel the rust in the air. I can feel the pressure in the vents. I have to get out of this bed. I have to find the others because the shadow is moving. And once it hits the 12, once that first news report breaks, the window is only 72 hours wide, and I'm the only sentry in this room. The ceiling fan is back. I'm in the recovery room now. The white noise of the hospital, the hushed voices, the squeak of rubber soles on linoleum, it's trying to bury what I saw. My wife is sitting in the chair next to me. She's holding my hands so hard her knuckles are white. She thinks she's anchoring me to the world. She doesn't know I'm still standing on the glass. I close my eyes for a second and the AO snaps back into view. He's still there. We're standing under the bow now. It's massive. It's a curved horizon of water, suspended in the white air, and the color of it, it's not blue. It's a shade that doesn't exist in the visible spectrum. It's a deep, vibrating violet that tastes like salt and metal. This is the extraction plan, Jason. I look at the water. It's bulging at the center, held back by a force I can't see. It's logistics, that's what I'm thinking. It's a supply drop, but the supply is mercy. It's the only thing that can neutralize the rust from the labs. When the release begins, the water will start to spill, he says. He shows me the 3-day window again. I see the world in a fast-forward blur. The news reports, the white vans, the panic in the streets. I see the pylons, the intercessors, standing in their homes at 3 a.m. The water from the bow, it doesn't just fall like rain, it flows toward the pylons. It follows the frequency. It's like a magnetic pull. The people standing in the watch, they become the conduits. The mercy pours through them and into the grid. I see the QPB fog hitting the water. It doesn't just stop, it dissolves. It turns into something harmless, something like steam. How do I ask for the drop? My voice is a whisper in the vision. I'm looking at the scale of the disaster and then back at the bow. He looks at me and his eyes are like a command. You don't ask for the drop, Jason. You become the LZ. You clear the ground. I don't understand what he means. I start to ask about the tactical specifics, the coordinates, the names of the cities. But he just puts his hand over my mouth. His skin is hot. It's the heat of the fire from the throne. The 3 days are for the asking, he says. After that, the window closes. The vision starts to fracture. I see the lab one last time. I see the rats. They're being loaded into the vents of a building in downtown San Diego. A building I recognize. It's near the waterfront. I've run past it 100 times on my morning PT. I see the scratched ventilation duct. I see the red eyes. And then it's just the hospital room. My wife is saying my name. Jason. Jason, look at me. I open my eyes. I try to tell her about the building by the water. I try to tell her about the frequency, but my throat is raw from the tube. I can only make a raspy, clicking sound. The doctor comes in. He's looking at my chart. He looks at me like I'm a puzzle he can't solve. You're a lucky man, Mr. Cerullo, he says. Your heart it went on a vacation and came back. We'll keep you for observation, but the EKG is clean. It's like the event never happened. I want to laugh. It would be a jagged, ugly sound. It never happened. I can still feel the mark on my chest. It's a dull ache now, a heat that sits right under my sternum. I can still hear the 3 a.m. hum. It's in the room with us. It's vibrating in the IV pole. It's vibrating in the floorboards. I spend the next few days in a fog. They give me meds, they give me rest, but I'm just watching the clock. Every night I wake up at 2:59. I don't need an alarm. My body just knows. The frequency starts in my jaw and moves down to my toes. I get out of the hospital bed, I move the IV stand, and I stand by the window. I look out at San Diego, I look at the lights of the city. I'm looking for the other pylons. I'm waiting for the first news report. I'm waiting for the release to become public. I know how this sounds. I'm 31. I'm a ranger. I've spent my life dealing in facts, in gear, in tangible threats. And now I'm standing in a hospital gown watching for a violet supply drop from a bow I saw in a vision. I try to describe it to my wife. I try to tell her what the frequency feels like. I say it's like the sound a diamond would make if it was a sound. No, that's not it. It's a color. It's the color of the water in the bow, but it's a noise. It's a sharp electric hum that's the same shade as I stop. The word isn't there. It's like the language in my head has a hole in it. I can see the thing I'm trying to name, but when I reach for the label, my hand comes back empty. It's a frequency it's just 3. I'm home now. I'm sitting in my kitchen. The grease stain is still on my shirt. I haven't washed it. I don't think I can. I check the locks before I turn in. It's a reflex. But then I set my alarm for 2:50. I sit in the dark. I listen to the scratching in the walls. I don't know if it's a real rat or if it's the memory of the lab. I just wait for the hum to start. I wait for the shadow to touch the top of the clock. I'm a sentry, and the watch is just beginning. I've been reading accounts for near-death experiences for years, and I've learned to listen for the things that don't fit the standard narrative. Most people talk about a garden or a tunnel. Jason Cerullo talks about a frequency in his jaw and a supply drop of violet water. I can't stop thinking about a pattern I've been tracking in the messages that come into this channel. There was a comment on a video we did back in January. I think the handle was Grid Runner, who mentioned a building in San Diego near the waterfront that had no windows and a ventilation system that never stopped humming. They said it felt like the air around the building was heavy, like it was under pressure. I went back and checked the coordinates Jason mentioned, the ones he saw in his vision. They map onto that exact same area. I'm Zeke, and I'm sitting here wondering how many of these pylons are already standing in the dark. If the frequency is real and the release is coming, what happens to the homes that aren't on watch? What happens when the news finally breaks? I'm looking at the clock right now, and I have to ask, if you're waking up tonight at 3, are you just restless, or are you standing on the perimeter of the waterfront?